In this video, we're going to talk about a young, rising force in the dancehall scene, Vigilant. He's not just another artist chasing clout, he's a youth from the community of Pimento Walk in Ocho Rios with a story that deserves attention. Vigilant's journey began in the classrooms and playgrounds of Ocho Rios Primary School, where he first crossed paths with another future star, Pablo YG. At the time, neither of them had any idea that their paths would intertwine again years later in a much more impactful way. Back in those early school days, Vigilant and Pablo YG weren't just classmates. They were brethrens. They shared a bond that only youth from the same rough circumstances could truly understand. But life, as it does, eventually pulled them in different directions. After graduating from Ocho Rios Primary, Pablo YG moved on to Ocho Rios High School, staying somewhat local. But Vigilant's path took a turn. He enrolled at Jonathan Grant High School, which took him further away from the hills and coastlines of St. Anne. It was during his time at Jonathan Grant that Vigilant's heart began beating for something more: music. While most of his peers were distracted by typical teenage distractions, he started to find himself immersed in rhythms and melodies. He wasn't just listening to music for entertainment anymore. He began breaking down lyrics, flows, and beats, analyzing the sound of dancehall and envisioning how he could contribute something different to it. Soon, Vigilant made the bold decision to actively pursue a career in music. He started searching for studios where he could record and learn. That ambition led him to some of the most notable studios in the local diaspora, including YGF Records and Poohdan Records. At these studios, Vigilant didn't just record songs, he absorbed the energy, the knowledge, and the struggle of the craft. He was around producers, artists, and engineers who helped mold his raw talent into something tangible. And it was while navigating these studios that life brought a full circle moment. He reconnected with Pablo YG. The same youth he once ran joke with during primary school was now walking a similar path. What could have been just a quick, long time no see moment evolved into a rekindling of their brotherhood. They bonded over music, their upbringing, and the realization that they were both chasing the same dream. But musically, they couldn't have been more different, at least at first. Vigilant's early songs carried a melodic flow, soft and smooth. He brought singing to dancehall, giving his tracks a more emotional, laid-back tone. His early releases like Banging Line and Rifle Lane showcased his ability to sing and ride rhythms in a way that didn't demand force. It invited listeners in, rather than hitting them hard. Pablo YG, on the other hand, had a totally different vibe. His music was raw, aggressive, and unapologetically grimy. His flow could jolt you out of your seat, commanding attention with every bar. Being around Pablo YG started to influence Vigilant in ways he didn't initially expect. The aggression, the high energy, and the soul-shaking delivery began to rub off on him naturally. Instead of resisting it, Vigilant embraced the influence. Not because he was trying to mimic Pablo YG, but because he saw the effect that type of energy had on listeners. It moved people. And as he began experimenting with a more aggressive flow, the results spoke for themselves. Tracks that once barely cracked five-figure views started to gain serious traction. Take That Lame, for example, a track that not only echoed Pablo YG's energy, but still retained Vigilant's own flavor. That track alone racked up over 250,000 views and counting. It became clear that the fusion of styles, his melody blended with Pablo's aggression, was a formula that worked. It wasn't about copying anymore. It was about growth and adaptation. In the music business, influence is unavoidable. Every artist is shaped by the ones around them, and Vigilant's evolution is a perfect example of how proximity to greatness can inspire your own version of excellence. Instead of getting caught in ego, he took notes. Instead of staying in his comfort zone, he switched it up. And instead of worrying about what people would say, he let the music do the talking. It's also important to note that Vigilant never lost his identity in the process. Even though the flow got harsher, his tone, lyrics, and delivery still had that emotional pull that set him apart. This duality, melody and menace, gave his music a unique balance. It spoke to both the heart and the streets, making it relatable to a wider audience. His transformation also reflects a deeper story of how environments and friendships can shape who we become. Vigilant's growth wouldn't have happened the same way without reconnecting with Pablo YG. Their friendship became more than personal, it became artistic synergy. Two youths from the same place, now on a mission to leave their mark on the industry. Vigilant's story is still being written, but his ability to evolve without selling out is a sign of an artist who knows exactly where he's headed. Whether he sticks with the aggressive style or finds a new balance between melody and grit, one thing's for sure, he's figured out what works for him. And in this era of dancehall, where standing out is harder than ever, Vigilant is carving his own lane, one bar, one beat, and one view at a time. So as we continue to watch his journey unfold, remember that every great artist was once just a youth with a dream, just like Vigilant from Pimento Walk.